Well, from listening to everything Ann shared with us, you know caring for an aging parent or spouse can be tough. Families are often encouraged to have a mediator when talking to a loved one about elderly care and to have a plan early.
You're becoming the parent and your parent's becoming the child. And many times it's difficult for the child to take on that new responsibility because it's just difficult to talk to your parent like a parent.
Mediators like Lori often act as a go-between for children and their aging parents because taking away your parents' independence is tough. The Senior Citizens Council has identified transportation as a big challenge for seniors across Georgia.
Physician offices to grocery stores to shopping centers. Everybody does not want to stay at home all day long, every day, plus they have to eat, and it's very discouraging when you have to pay your neighbor $25 to $50 one way to take you to the grocery store.
One way to prevent being stuck at home as a senior is to prepare early. Experts say families should begin doing an assessment on what their plan of care should be sooner rather than later. And here in the CSRA, dementia is the most prevalent illness plaguing our aging population.
Another tip is that families should begin researching local elderly care services before the need becomes urgent, and that's where services like Family Care Inc. come into play. Claire Russell is the president and CEO of the private home care and consulting company, and you have served Eastern Georgia for more than 20 years, Claire.
I have.
And this is for people who are you're trying to keep your elderly loved ones at home as long as possible. Mm-hmm. Right.
What we do is try to help people age in place. We try to make it safe for them to age in place, mm-hmm. and provide some assistance for caregivers and as well as the person themselves. Go in, do assessments, make sure that the home is safe for them to age. They are safe, not fall.
And then as wheelchairs or walkers become necessary, if you have to have ramps and that sort of thing.
There's equipment that a lot of people don't know that help you stay at home and help you do things that you can't necessarily do without. And so we'll go in and we'll see what's needed and offer it. What we try to let families and people maintain control. That's one of a huge issue of elderly care is they're losing a lot of things, and they're not able to do a lot of things that they could do in the past. And so if everything is stripped of them all at once, they have no reason to live. So Family Care tries to provide a care that is like Eden Care. We meet you where you are. We meet you where you live. And I can't begin to tell you what an honor and a blessing it is to go into people's homes and share their lives with them, share some very personal interactions with family members, and not lead their lives, but help be a part to guide their lives, help take care of some personal care, maybe meals, take them to the doctor, errands, companionship. And then, there are times, so many times, and we hear about this all the time, where when someone goes in the hospital, elderly people go in the hospital, they turn around, they're not home a week before they bounce back. And that's where companies like mine, like Family Care, come in. We make sure that the right medication is on board, that, you don't always plan to go to the hospital.
Right.
So if you can imagine going to the hospital and coming home and having nobody there to make sure things are set up for you. I mean, we rely on a lot of things. We take a lot of things for granted. And we just provide some support for folks who need it.
I can only imagine the psychological benefit also of staying at home.
It's awesome. You know that people live longer when they're at home. Not only do they live longer, but usually the earlier they get a little bit of assistance in the home. And that's one of the things that we try to do, is not go in like gangbusters, but start out in a limited fashion about what, giving the care that people need, and then increase as they need it increased.
So you're dipping your toe in the water, not diving in head first.
Well, you want to make sure that they're used to having somebody come in your home. Everybody doesn't want someone in their
Certainly,
house.
certainly.
I haven't cleaned up yet. I haven't bathed yet. I haven't done this or that. So there's getting used to that. Meeting family members and seeing who needs what. We try to look at what are the important things in this household. What is really important to this person, to this family, and then we try to meet those. And so if you start out early on, then it's kind of a no-brainer to continue.
Claire, it sounds to me like you're really considering a holistic approach.
Very much so. Very much so. What makes people live and thrive and be happy. Plants, pets, children, hugs. So many times people are not touched.
I was going to say, touch is such a big part of it.
Touch.
Yeah.
And so as an RN case manager, when I'll go in just to check up behind, because that's important, and that's one thing that you get with an agency is that, like mine, you have RNs, you have LPNs going in to just see what's needed here. You know what, I know you weren't really thinking along these lines, but let's go ahead and call the doctor and see what we can do about this before it becomes a problem. But when we're there and when we're looking behind things, we always, a hug, an embrace, it means a lot to the person that we hug or embrace, but it means a lot to us. It's a double-edged sword, and it's just I'm passionate about it. It means a lot to me. I've devoted a lot of my life, my love, my time to it, and I have nurses that feel the same.
It puts you in a position of really being able to impact somebody's life in a very positive way. That has to make you feel good.
I try not to, it does. I just want to tell you, I experience joy on a regular basis. I do. Being in someone's home and seeing them smile, seeing how much the little things mean to them. I sleep well at night knowing that people are taken care of. I do.
I think, speaking to you now in terms of another mom, we both are working moms and we have grown children. You are effervescent when you talk about what you do.
You're sweet.
It's a part of you. And I think that you're lucky that this has been your life's journey.
You know what? It's not a journey that I necessarily planned out for myself. It is one that has been laid out for me, and I have just followed. It hadn't been easy, but it has had a huge impact on my life, and I would say most definitely the life of my family. And it's just been just an awesome thing.
As healthcare changes and as we run into so many different roadblocks with insurance and whatnot, is there more of a need for in-home care like you provide?
Very much so. So some things, in-home care like this, it's not paid for by Medicare, and that's what the first question many people ask.
This is private.
It's private. There is a Medicaid component to it. So that there is some payment in that way. We have grant money. Long-term care insurance will pay for it once you meet different stipulations, and then private pay.
Right.
Yes, and we are seeing and it's with baby boomers too. We are seeing a big increase in private services. So when you go to look at a private company, you really want to take a look at what's behind that private company. Is that someone who? It's just important to know what mission they have. Somebody who just got into the field because that's where, that would be a business that looks like it would grow, or whether that's really something that means a lot to them and they want to make sure that you are protected, your loved one is protected.
You can go to our website, WJBF.com, and click on the Jennie tab, and I'll have all the information. Claire Russell, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.